Hello everyone, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I'm here to show you another technique. I'm just making sure my iPad brings up my video so that I can make sure that I see that I have everything in line. Anyway, I'm here to show you that. I'm here to tell you a little bit about my Stampin' Up business. I do have a Facebook group. I have a YouTube channel. I have a website with Stampin' Up, my online store. So if I can help you in any way with your stamping needs, if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to do that. You can just go to stampinup.com and do a demonstrator search and use my name, Rita Holmes, and you should be able to find me. I'm in Hamilton, Ohio, so that gives you a little bit about that. My Facebook group is Stamp Crazy VIP, where I do techniques every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And I also put a PDF in my files that shows the supplies and the directions to the technique and to the card that I show that day. And you're more than I'd be more than glad to have you join the group there so that you'd be able to take advantage of these. I do the same video for YouTube as I do for my Facebook Live, so just depends on where it's easier to watch it, or I talk a little bit more with the comments and stuff in Facebook Live, so these YouTube videos are a little bit shorter. So today I'm going to tell you I'm going to do ghost stamping. Here's the card I'm going to be making, and I just want to show you a little bit of difference with, I did the exact same card, same colors, and I did it without doing the ghost stamping so that you can see the difference in the colors of what the inks look like. I think the one with the ghost stamping is a little bit more subtle, and where the other one is more bold, but that's the exact same colors. The inside, I did the ghost stamping there, and in the inside of this one I did not, so you can see that all of that looks very different as far color wise and stuff. So I just wanted to show you that. I have a couple other samples to show you. I like using the crumb cake. It works really great. But I'm going to show you a darker color for now, and I use Night of Navy. Use the same stamp set, and there it is with the ghost stamping, and here it is without. Now you need to use bold colors when you're doing ghost stamping because they do lighten up a lot, and on the Night of Navy I actually use this bright Pacific Point. So it'll really show the difference on the inside where I stamped it on white. You can see the color of it. And on this one I stamped off twice to get this color to match the front a little bit more. But this I did not stamp off when that's stamped over white. So that just shows you a little difference of what the ghost stamping looks like as opposed to straight stamping on your card. I do have one more sample to show you, and I did it on a light color. I did it on Mint Macaron, and I used the Forever Fern stamps with the Pretty Peacock and Just Jade colors. And of course it's got white stamp behind it, and I don't know if you can see I stamped little white dots, give it a little bit of dimension. And on the inside I stamped straight Pretty Peacock on my inside. So as long as you use light colored cardstock, some bright or dark colored inks that will show up over your white stamping, you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dive into doing my card. So let me set all these other things out of my way. There's our card that we're going to be doing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring me in a piece of scrap paper that I thought I had here. Yeah, I do. Right here's one. So I'm going to bring this in because I want to do my stamping on it instead of getting it all over my grid paper down there. So what I'm going to do is, first off, we're going to take, I'm going to use, that's not the right one. They look alike to me. I have to get them out. I'm going to use the Whisper White Craft Stamping Pad. Now, if you watch other videos on Ghost Stamping, they use a pigment ink. The craft ink here doesn't dry as fast as a dye-based ink, but I don't think it's pure pigment either. And it works really well for this. So, and I try to stick with everything, try to find the Stampin' Up! Products that will work best with the techniques that I do, if at all possible. So I'm going to use the Stampin' pad, the Whisper White first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up my stamp. And you want to make sure you get it inked up pretty good. So I'm going to just stamp one in the corner for my inside of my card. I'll scoot that up a little bit so I can have room here. And then I'm going to stamp so there's my white for my flowers. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my leaves. So I'm going to take my white again and my leaf stamp, and what I'm using Floral Essence, using the big flower, this leaf here, and this little circle down here for my card. So I'm going to be stamping the leaf now. And I just want to get a good image of these leaves. So I'm just going to stamp a few here and there. So, and let's stamp a few over here. And there we go. So, that is with the white craft ink that we've used for that. Let me set this underneath all my other ink pads I'm going to be using so that we don't make a mess. Now what I do is I use my chamois for most everything, but on this white ink I use my Stampin' Mist with a stamp cleaner to get most of that white ink off. So I want to, because we're going to use these again in our colored ink, so I want all of that white to be removed. If I can talk. And then what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and take it on my chamois, since I'm going to be using it again after I get that white ink off of there. And I'm just going to run that over, make sure my block is clean so I can see through it. So I'm doing that with both stamps. Okay, so they are clean, so I'm going to just like hit them with the, that just is to make sure that they're dry, and they are. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and we're going to use Poppy Parade. That's the color of cardstock that I'm using as far as the base of the card, and so that's the ink I'm going to use. So I will start with my inside first, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink this up. Make sure I get it good and inked. And then you're just going to offset this. So you're not going to have a lot of the white show. It just shows a little bit there. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to do the leaves on this one. And then I'll set it to the side until we're ready to put it in our card. And you're just offsetting that just barely, so that you can see some of your white. Now we're going to come back in and we're going to do our card front, so that I can get it to slide over here. So I'm going to come back into my Poppy Parade. I'm going to do my flowers first. And I'm trying to get it to where I just leave a little bit of the white show. I don't want tons of it to show. It's hard to do it without getting my head in the camera. That's what I'm trying not to do. And I see that I am, because I saw my hair in there. And it's probably not even combed, guys. That's just me in a nutshell here. Okay, there's my 3 flowers. Now I'm going to come in. We're done with our Poppy Parade, so we're going to close that up. We don't need it. I'm going to come in with my green, and I'm going to do all of my leaves. And as you can see, I'm just trying to stamp off just a little bit. Some of them I get off more than others, especially on the leaves. And that's okay. You know, our stamping, it's handmade. It's not perfect. As we're not perfect, why do we expect our cards to be perfect? Okay, there is my green and my Poppy Parade on my card. Now I'm going to come in with Early Espresso, and that is going to be the center of my flower. So I need to bring my other piece back in too. And I'm just going to stamp this straight into the center of each flower. I didn't want to use black. I thought black would be a little bit too stark on there, so I chose to use Early Espresso. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my sentiment on the front of it, and what I used for my sentiment is I used the lovely You set, and I used Miles Apart but Still in My Heart, and that's what I'm going to put on the front of here today. I've already got it on my block. So I just want to ink that up. Try not to press into my pad because I want a good, clean image. And then I'm going to try to be a little bit straight. And just I want to go straight down. Hold it for a second. And come straight up. These words are so little, you don't want to stamp them too heavy and make them real blotchy looking. So there is the front of my card, and there's the inside. Let's move the nasty piece of paper away. Here's my Poppy Parade. I'm going to fold it in half. And then we'll go ahead and put the front on. And I'm going to use my Tombow adhesive, which is what I really like to use. Don't mind my fingers, they have ink on them. I did a video this morning. I did some video in last night and just was messy. I have ink all over me all the time. But that means I have happy hands. Because there we go. Then I'm going to open it up and I'm going to put the inside in. I like to stamp on the inside of my cards. I just think it gives it an extra homemade touch. But I usually leave it blank as far as the sentiment so that you can write something in your card. I always like to write in my cards, so there we go. And that is, I'm going to go ahead and, since I had that open so much, so there is our card with the ghost stamping. I hope you can see that the white is under there, and that's why it's called Ghost. We have a little bit of white, and I guess ghosts are white, so we have ghost stamping. It just gives your card a softer look. Again, I'll bring in the one that's not done with that, and you can see the difference, how much softer the one with the technique is than the one that is not. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. I know it was short and it was quick, but it was easy. Just another old technique that I kind of brought out of the closet rather than saying anything else. It's actually out of my Rolodex. So I actually brought that out and brought it to you so that maybe you could try it again if you used to do it. If you've never tried it, maybe you want to give it a try. Again, don't forget you can go over to my Stamp Crazy VIP Facebook page, and all the measurements and directions for the card and the technique are in the files over there. And I'd love to have you join over there and just be a part to where you can collect all of this. And if you would, please share my video so that other people can see the techniques and do those. And it just helps me get some not customers, but people watching my YouTube videos, which I'm trying to grow my business in that way as far as YouTube and as a YouTube business. And like I said, I'm doing Stampin' Up, and so if I can help you in that way too, I would also love to do that. And until I come on with another video, I will just see you later and hope all of you guys have a good night. Bye.